Hello everyone, my name is Kelia and I am the teen librarian at Ashburn Library. Today we are going to be continuing our series on manga. So this is the second one. If you're not exactly sure what manga is or you haven't read a lot before, go watch my first video, which was called Introduction to Manga, Popular Recommendations, and you can watch and learn all about manga there. But today we are going to be talking about a certain type of manga, and that is shonen manga. And so what is shonen manga? Well, shonen manga, shonen actually just means boy in Japan. So shonen manga is actually kind of targeted at boys under the age of 15. So they generally have like a lot of action, fighting, and comedy. But in recent years, shonen manga has expanded, especially because normally shonen manga you would have a boy main character, but now shonen manga also has female main characters that is very action heavy and comedy centric. So at least I think 2 of the mangas that I'm going to talk about today have female main characters but are considered shonen. So now that you know what shonen manga is, I'm going to show you some of the popular shonen manga that we have here at the library and tell you a little bit about each title. So let's get started. The first shonen manga I have here is called Dr. Stone, and this one is actually pretty popular if you are a manga reader like myself. So pretty much what happens is, in Dr. Stone, the whole world one day suddenly just turns to stone. Animals, birds, trees, everything, just all living things turn to stone. And then about, 3,000 years pass and people start breaking and waking up out of their stone. And the first person to wake up is actually not the main character or the person on the front. It is a different character, Kaiju, and he awakens, and he's the first one to awaken, and he finds stone. He finds his friends still in stone, and so as he's exploring, he runs into Senku, who is like a science genius. He was a genius in school, and together Senku and Kaiju rebuild the world. So it's interesting because it kind of starts out prehistoric and then it moves and goes as they develop new and newer technology. So there's a lot of action, there's a lot of fighting, it has comedy in it, and it is also like, you learn some stuff from reading this because the science is real. So yeah, that's Dr. Stone. So the next book we have is called The 7 Deadly Sins, and as you can see, it's pretty well worn, it's pretty popular. So what is the 7 Deadly Sins? The 7 Deadly Sins is about a group of warriors known as the 7 Deadly Sins. Years ago, they were the guard for the king, and they were like his most trusted warriors. And then there was a plot that was discovered, and the 7 deadly sins were supposedly plotting to overthrow the king, so they got disbanded and exiled. So now skip forward where King Leonis is assassinated and his daughter Elizabeth's only choice is to go out and find the 7 deadly sins, the only people who can help put the kingdom back in right, and they can in the process prove themselves to be, innocent. So this book has a lot of main characters. I would say he's more or less the main character, but there's Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is a lot of the main characters, but as this goes on, it's got a lot of action. It's got kind of some suspense, drama. It has a lot of comedy in it. You're gonna see that as like a theme, that a lot of shonen manga is very comedy heavy and very action heavy. Next we have Magi, which is kind of like Disney's Aladdin-ish, because his name is Aladdin. So pretty much what happens is in Magi, Aladdin is a young child that has grown up away from society, and he wants to learn more about the world. So him and his Jinn, or genie, but Jinn, Ugo, like travel from place to place, figuring stuff out. And then they eventually meet a young traveler named Alibaba. The 3 of them go on to like conquer a dungeon or something like that. It's very complicated. So there are like dungeons with monsters, and at the end of the dungeons there are treasures. And so Aladdin wants to beat the beat the dungeon so he can figure out what the treasure is, and Alibaba also wants to claim the treasure, so they like become best friends and they team up, and then the story just goes from there. So once again, a lot of comedy, a lot of action, and some mystery too. So that's Magi. So our next one is the favorite one that I'm going to talk about today, and it's The Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. This is an example of shonen manga that has a female main character, and the reason I like this is not because it has a female main character, it's because it's hilarious. Like, the whole plot of this book is this girl, princess, I can't think of her name, Silas, Princess Silas, Syalis, yeah. So Princess Silas is kidnapped by the Demon King, and the only thing that she wants to do is, she's not afraid of the demons, she just wants to get a good night's sleep. So the whole book is her going from chapter to chapter, figuring out how to make the perfect bed, how to make the perfect pillow, how to not be hot when she sleeps, how to get a down comforter. Like, the chapters are hilarious, and like she goes around just absolutely murdering demons with like these giant scissors that she stole off a demon just so that she can like get her perfect good night's sleep. It is, her disregard for demon/human life is absolutely hilarious. Like, she's just like, oh look, one of the best examples is there's something called a shroud demon, and it's just like a big blanket with a face. She takes the scissors and she chops off the shroud's head, and she's like, oh, this will make a good blanket. And all the other shrouds like watch her, and then they like, and that was the day the shrouds learned to live in fear. And it's just funny. So this is my favorite book. Happens to have a female character, but is also shonen. Next, we have a kind of sad and messed up book. So this is called The Promise Neverland. And if you look at the front of the book, you're like, oh, this doesn't look messed up at all. What? All right, so the plot of this book is these kids are raised in like an orphanage. And I think there's like 37, 40 of them. And so their education is really stressed. So like the three smartest kids are kind of like the main characters. And pretty much what happens is that they live a completely carefree life. They can do whatever they want. They just can't leave the orphanage grounds because there are dangerous things that lurk outside the orphanage, like demons and stuff. So one day, one of the three main kids gets adopted, and the other two, they're like, oh no, they left their favorite bunny. So they go to follow them outside of the orphanage grounds, and they find the child dead. And so they're like, oh my God, what's happening? And so they hide underneath like a wagon or something, and they overhear these demons come, and they're talking about how the flesh of the humans is like the best thing in the world, and how the orphanage is just a farm to raise human flesh so that it can be, eaten by demons. So, and apparently the smarter you are, the better your flesh tastes. So the children learn that they're next. And pretty much what happens is they use their smarts to break out of the orphanage, but not all of them can get out. So the whole point of the book is them trying to figure out how to survive in the outside world with the demons, and how to get the rest of the children out of the weird sacrificial orphanage. So this book is kind of dark, but it's really enticing. Like, I was reading it and I did not see that coming, and then I was like, but what happens next? And yeah, it's just like a really good mystery. Is dark though. So that's The Promise Neverland. So on a lighter note, next we have Bakuman. And Bakuman is one of those type of shonen anime mangas that is not action-packed. Bakuman is actually about this boy Mashiro, and one day he leaves his notebook behind, and one of his friends Takagi finds it and notices that Mashiro is a really good artist, so he begs Mashiro to like draw a manga with him. And Mashiro's uncle, or I think grandfather, was a manga artist, and he died of exhaustion. Like, he overworked himself and he just died. And so Mashiro is like, no bro, I want to live a chill life. Like, that doesn't sound like my type of game, so peace. So what Takagi does is he kind of like tricks Mashiro, because Mashiro's crush is Azuki, A-Z-U-K-I, Azuki, and Azuki is like, I want to be a famous voice actress. So if you can get an anime adaptation of your manga in the future, I bet you we can get married. And like, they kind of like make a deal with each other that if she can become the voice actress of the manga that he creates, then they'll get married in the future. So it's kind of convoluted, but it is a way to obviously make a, you know, teenage boy do the work because he gets to be with his crush. So this is an interesting, it really explores like the inner workings of how manga is created, and it's funny, and you see the kids like working toward their dreams and their goals. So this is a good book. Once again, it's called Bakuman. Like Digimon, but not Digimon. So now we have another popular one, and if you know what Naruto is, you probably know what Boruto is. I'm skipping right over Naruto and I'm going to Boruto. I did not talk about Naruto in my last video, which was like popular recommendations for the library. I just didn't. I should have. I didn't. But I figured I was going to talk about Boruto here. So if you haven't read Naruto, Naruto is Boruto's father. Naruto is like, I don't know, so many manga books, but we have them here at the library. So if you want to read the like pre-story to the story, read Naruto first and then pick up Boruto. However, you do not need really to read Naruto to read Boruto. It would just help you like understand all the characters more, but pretty much Boruto. So what is Boruto about? Boruto is right here. He is a ninja, and in this world, ninjas are kind of like the way that places protect their countries. They're like hidden assassins, and they kind of have like magical powers that are called jutsus, and they can do some pretty incredible stuff. They have great physical and mental abilities. And so Boruto is training to be a ninja, and he gets teamed up with Sasuke's daughter and somehow Orochimaru's son, and they become like a team. So it's kind of just like Naruto, where Boruto is going through school and he's figuring out his life as a ninja and what he wants to do with it. This book is a lot of action, some fun comedy, and it's just really enticing, especially if you've read the Naruto books. But once again, you don't have to read Naruto to understand Boruto. It'll just help you understand, like on the back, you see Boruto and Sasuke is one of the main characters in the original series. So this is a great book. I have to assume that if you're reading this, you've probably read or at least heard of Naruto. But if not, you can still give it a try. It is a great action-packed series. Next, we have the second shonen manga with a female main character. It is called Yona of the Dawn. Okay, I'm gonna reason with you here. Did not like this when I first read it. And why? Because Yona is a princess and she is so whiny. Like, oh, I hated her at the beginning. But then, you know, like as the book goes on, she has really good character development and she evolves into a person, but she's so annoying at the beginning. So what this is about is an annoying Princess Yona who is like the princess of like, I don't know, an ancient Chinese kingdom. Her father is the king, and she's completely in love with like her second cousin who is like a prince, and it's not weird for people that close in age or that close in familial whatever to get married in ancient times, so we disregard that they're related. And one night she stumbles upon the love of her life literally murdering her dad and staging a coup so that he can take over the country. And so Yona escapes with her bodyguard and one of her father's most trusted knights. And well, he's one person. That's one person. He's a bodyguard and the trusted knight. And they escape in order to find, like, just to escape so that she can maybe one day come back and reclaim the throne. And what happens is Yona is revealed to be the reincarnation of an ancient king who is loved by dragons. So what she does is she goes around the country and continent looking for the reincarnation of these dragons so that she can have the power to get her kingdom back. So it starts out rough. There's a lot of action and a lot of whiny, but then it turns into a lot of action, really good character development, and comedy. So that is Yona of the Dawn. Okay, you guys, so we're down to our final book, and our final book is Tiger and Bunny. So in this book, the world is kind of plagued by like supervillains and superheroes, and so what happens is it's kind of weird. So the supervillains pop up and they like do their scheme, and the superheroes in this world are part of like an organization, and they go out and they defeat the supervillains, and it's televised. And so it's kind of like a game show where like the heroes go out and they beat the villains, and then they get points, and then based on the points at the end of the season, you become like the greatest hero that year, and you get like all this like merch and fame and blah blah blah. So it's not fake. Like it seems like it would be a fixed thing, but it's not. It's just a weird concept. But anyways, the story unfolds as Tiger, which is this guy. His name is actually Kotetsu. He's called Wild Tiger. That's his superhero name. He gets teamed up with a new partner whose name is Barnaby, but they call him Bunny. And Barnaby and Bunny and Tiger have like different ethics on what they think that a hero should be like and how they think that they should handle the competition. So this book is just like a lot of literally like slapstick funny action mixed with like some ethics mixed with more action and more comedy. So I advise this one. It's a pretty good read, and just weird. Like it's so unique that I would urge you to pick this up. All right, you guys, so that is it. That is 10 popular shonen manga that you could find here at the library. Or if you want to put it on hold, you can go to www.library.loudoun.gov and you can put it on hold on our catalog, and it will be ready to be picked up at a library closest to you. So anyway, next we are going to be doing shoujo in our is the next installment, and then the installment after that is going to be isekai. So I hope you stay tuned if you really are into manga to learn about the shoujo and isekai mangas that we have here at the library. But you guys, it's time for me to go. So like always, I hope to see you at the library. Bye.